So
imagine it's like a water balloon popping, but it's just human bodies.
Yes, that's a great
dispenser of flesh.
Yeah, coming out of all your orifices.
It's just like
butthole, your dick hole, your eye sockets. Yeah,
fingertips.
Just
probably
shit out your
ultimate power.
You shit your intestines everywhere.
So, the satisfaction and relief Romans would feel watching someone considered lower than themselves be thrown to the beast would become a central facet of the experience, a feeling of shared empowerment and validation. So, then now we're going to talk about Caesar. So,
the salad.
Julius Caesar, not the salad. Salad came later.
Salad was actually named after somebody else.
Really?
I think it was named after the monkey.
It's not named after Julius Caesar, the emperor.
Oh, it's named after Caesar, the monkey from Planet of the Apes.
Caesar was the first to arrange fights between recently captured armies, gaining first-hand knowledge of the fighting techniques used by these conquered people and providing him with powerful insights to aid future Roman conquest, all the while demonstrating the Republic's own superiority to the roaring crowd of Romans. So he would basically have captured armies fight each other in the arena. So, and they learned from it, watching their techniques. They learned battle techniques from other armies. So, I thought that was pretty fucking genius.
Yeah, that's where like Spartacus the show comes from and stuff.
Okay,
like
I need to watch that.
Capturing the Gauls.
Caesar used exotic animals from newly conquered territories to educate Romans about the empire's expansion. In one of his games, Caesar orchestrated a hunt for 400 lions, fights between elephants and infantry, and then bullfighting by mounted Thessalians. So these guys were paid to house, manage, breed, train, and sometimes fight the bizarre menagerie of animals collected for the games. So managing and training this influx of beasts was not an easy task. Wild animals are born with a natural hesitancy, and without training, they would usually cower and hide when forced into the arena. For example, it is not a natural instinct for a lion to attack and eat a human, let alone to do so in front of 100,000 screaming Roman men, women, and children. And yet, the Romans' ever more violent culture, disappointing an editor, would spell certain death for the low-ranking bestiality. So to avoid being executed themselves, they met the challenge. They developed detailed training regimens to ensure their animals would act as required, feeding arena-born animals a diet comprised solely of human flesh, breeding their best animals, and allowing their weaker and smaller stock to be killed in the arena. So they even went so far as to instruct condemned men and women on how to behave in the ring to guarantee a quick death for themselves and a better show. So, as their reputations grew, they were given the power to independently devise new and even more audacious spectacles for the midday executions.
Sounds like SeaWorld.
Yahtzee, baby. That does sound like fucking
exactly
SeaWorld.
Like SeaWorld.
What was that documentary called? Blackfish?
Blackfish?
Yeah.
Or Blackfin?
Blackfin, one of those.
One of them, but like what you do is you put a knife on the end of fucking the dolphin's snorkel, and you get another dolphin, and you put another knife on that thing, and you train those goddamn dolphins to go at each other. Yeah. It'll be a bloodbath.
That'd be awesome.
What?
They did it on purpose.
They actually did that? Wait. Because dolphins
you don't even have to...
You could teach a dolphin that.
Dolphins are savage without having knives on their snouts.
They can kill sharks.
They try to fuck people.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, Thomas.
They rape their own in groups. They do group rape sessions of their own dolphin pods. Like they call them pods, I guess, a group of them. But yeah, you know what you don't have to do? You put two killer whales together. Guess what? They're killer whales. They don't need weapons. They're just going to go to town. Or you maybe put a killer whale against a dolphin, and the dolphin has a knife. See which one comes out on top.
The dolphin's going to lose.
A dolphin would come underneath and hit the whale from the bottom.
Slice the whole belly open.
Oh, yeah, true.
As he goes under.
Get one of those dolphins that they trained in the military to seek out the underwater mines. Put a knife on his head.
Put a dolphin on it.
It's going to get the knife stuck in the whale, and then it's just going to drown.
Oh. It's going to go straight through his mouth and out his asshole and just tear all the way through.
No, a dolphin is not going to like pierce through the... It's not going to pierce through the whale like a missile.
It could.
It's going to get stuck.
Yeah.
And dolphins have debris there, so that dolphin's going to drown.
If it was a sci-fi movie, it would go straight through.
Straight through it, no problem.
From the world of Sharknado, presents
Dolphin knife.
Killer dolphin.
Dolphinator.
Yeah, it's got missiles and guns strapped to its side. It's a Russian-born dolphin. Trained in Russia.
Dolphin, no grin.
Soviet Russia dolphin.
Okay, back on topic. So, to meet the ever-growing pressure to keep the Roman crowds happy and engaged by bloodshed, these bestiarities were forced to consistently invent new ways to kill. They devised elaborate contraptions and platforms to give prisoners the illusion they could save themselves, only to have the structures collapse at the worst possible moments, dropping the condemned into a waiting pack of starved animals. Prisoners were tied to boxes, lashed to stakes, wheeled out on dollies, and nailed to crosses. And then, prior to the animals' release, the action was paused so that bets could be made in the crowds about which of the helpless men would be devoured first.
It was like the very first instance of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Sports betting.
Sports betting. They're like, stop everything. I got your bets over here. Who's got this guy? Who's got this guy? And people are fucking throwing money and shit at this guy. This guy's out there.
And rupees.
Yes. This guy's out there. He was like
literal FanDuel.
It's an in the moment FanDuel.
Dude's bringing like 2 lambs.
lamb chops over his shoulder.
Just throws it on the table.
So, perhaps most popular, as well as the most difficult to pull off, were the recreations of death scenes from famous myths and legends. A single bestiarius might spend months training an eagle in the art of removing a thrashing man's organs in flight. So they were doing all kinds of trick shots and shit, like the guy shooting an apple off of the head with an arrow. But they were training an eagle. They would cut this guy's belly open and expose his organs just a little bit. You know, just like they would like tease the intestines out a little bit, and they'd send this eagle flying, and this eagle would just grapple his intestines and pull. And you know how long intestines are. They're multiple feet long, so you'd get that eagle would start just ripping these organs out of this guy, and they're like trailing out like sausage links.
I had an eagle put out 22 feet of small intestine.
Wow.
I like that noise. It just
That's what I figured the noise is making as they're ripping out of the slit in his body.
Imagine how many people died in preparation for that.
A lot.
One time at work.
Tons.
A lot.
Well,
so
hopefully they would use like a pig or something for it to practice on.
No fucking way. They use slaves, bud.
They would not
use slaves.
The dying gladiator. They just cut his damn stomach open.
Oh, man.
Oh, the gladiators were premium meat. They used slaves off the street.
The dying gladiator.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right. So, the halftime show of Damnatio ad Bestias, which means condemnation by beasts, became so notorious that it was common for prisoners to attempt suicide to avoid facing the horrors they knew awaited them. Roman philosopher and statesman recorded a story of a German prisoner who, rather than being killed in the show, killed himself by forcing a communally used prison lavatory sponge down his throat.
Yeah.
Wow, and that means a shit sponge.
That's a shit wondering. Sponge that you wipe butts with.
Yeah. Imagine that smell.
Well, that guy knew what was coming, so it was better for him to put the shit sponge down his throat.
So the guy at the gas station this morning that smelled like ass.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Sponge? Gas station shit sponge.
Yeah, no, there was a guy this morning. He was walking into the gas station, and he walked past me and Alex to walk in. And he's probably a good, 10 feet away? And
at least
we smelled him. It smelled like rotting flesh. And then as soon as he walked in, it went away.
Yeah. It came back when he left.
So he just has an issue with wiping. And bathing.
He needs to
hygiene.
He needs to wipe his whole body.
Was it a truck driver?
Do what?
Construction worker. Essential employee.
Essential employee. Okay.
The kind of guy that doesn't sit down on the porta potty. The one that just kind of pulls his pants down, explodes poop everywhere,
and then doesn't wipe.
The hinge shitter,
and then pulls them back up. Like that came out clean. No need to wipe.
Fuck it.
He just checks with his fingers and then wipes on the back of the seat.
Yeah, does a front and a back finger wipe. Yeah,
and it's just orange mess.
He tries to make the orc from Lord of the Rings, fucking Uruk-hai, just a shit smear.
That'll do, pig.
Find the droplings.
Okay, so one other prisoner who refused to walk into the arena was placed on a cart and wheeled in. The prisoner thrust his own head between the spokes of the wheels, preferring to break his own neck than to face whatever horrors the show had planned for him.
That's probably actually better.
Maybe. So this is the rise of the Beastmaster. Carpophorus was his name. He was celebrated not only for training the animals that were set upon the enemies, criminals, and Christians of Rome, but also for famously taking to the center of the arena to battle the most fearsome creatures himself. This guy was a fucking legend. He went down in history as the Beast Master. So he triumphed in one match that pitted him against a bear, a lion, and a leopard, all of which were released to attack him at once. Another time, he killed 20 separate animals in one battle, using only his bare hands as a weapon. And like I said a while ago, I don't know if this was 20 squirrels or if this was 20 lions. It doesn't say that. But you know what? The man killed 20 animals with his bare hands. That's pretty cool.
That's
impressive. Yes, his power over animals was so unmatched that the poet Martial wrote odes to Carpophorus. And this is one of them. If the ages of old, Caesar, in which a barbarous earth brought forth wild monsters, had produced Carpophorus. Yeah, that's fucking sweet to have shit like that wrote about you. Yeah. So, perhaps most shockingly, it was said that he was among the few who could command animals to rape human beings, including bulls, zebras, stallions, wild boars, and giraffes, amongst others. This crowd-pleasing trick allowed his editors to create, I don't know what that word, ludi maradini, that could not only combine sex and death, but also claim to be honoring the god Jupiter, because Jupiter took many animal forms to have his way with human women. Because, you know, a woman is just like in for it for those fucking zebras, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking like chimpanzee comes down from the sky.
The tentacles come down and do their thing.
The tentacles will work their magic on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the Kraken.
They're working the back of the neck. You got a tentacle working the back of the neck. You got a tentacle
down low
working both butt cheeks. You got a tentacle working the anus and the vag, or the dick. It all depends on what these tentacles are working.
Or if you have both, you can have both.
Yeah.
You got to work the back of the knees too. I hear.
What? The back of the knees, is that like a secret zone? Is that like the fourth hole?
It's a very tender area.
The fourth hole.
There's a lot of nerve endings at the back of the knees and the anus.
Yes. Yep. That's why it feels good to wipe.
It's always
do the extra wipe just to feel it.
You know what I'm talking about? Get that itch all day.
Yeah, if you get an itch midday and you went to the bathroom in the morning, it's time to go wipe again.
Dude, I thought that was psychological.
It's not psychological, Chris. It's a real thing.
Get dirty
the itch is for the itch is for a reason. You got to go scratch that itch.
Oh no!
But not you have to scratch it with toilet paper, not with your fingertips. You nasty fucks. We got through Commodius. Now we're gonna get to Commodus. No, wait. What? I just fucked that all up. We got through Carpophorus. We finished Carpophorus. Yes. We're going to Commodus.
There you go, Commodus.
I prefer Commodus.
Oh yeah, shit doesn't like Commodus.
Yeah, I like Commodus.
He was